Welcome one, welcome all. This is Unmute Yourself, and I'm so excited about the following conversation with Rachael Weaver. Rachael is a human design expert, and she has a particular talent for helping us to think about our messaging when putting our voice, our business, our offering, our words, our writing, whatever it might be, out into the world. She wants us to think about, rather than cookie cutter strategies, she wants us to think about aligning with our energy. What does that mean? Well, we're going to find out. And what this whole conversation for me really highlights is my own experience, and I think it's the same, my sense is the same for a lot of us, particularly females, is that we've gone into building our own business or entrepreneurial work, and we've got the qualifications, the certifications, we've done the studies, we've done course after course, and then we don't know where to begin in building our business. So what do? So then we start reading all the marketing books, we take the marketing courses, we do the business building courses, the content creation courses, the social media courses, all of the courses, to the copywriting courses, to help us to build. And in that process, certainly my own experience was one of a huge loss of confidence, which wasn't great to begin with. That's been a whole other journey alongside everything that I've been doing after kind of a lifetime of shame. So then we lose a lot of confidence. We lose the essence of our voice because we're trying to follow someone else's strategy. We lose the reason why we've gone into the journey that we're doing. And in that process, for me, I lost a lot of energy and kind of will at times to carry on. So I'm super excited about this conversation because I think those courses that certainly I took were very much a kind of from a masculine energy, which, both energies are important, but a lot of those courses were very masculine in their tone, very kind of take massive action, gotta niche down, show leadership, find the pain points, or all of this kind of jargon, which for me didn't land well, didn't feel good in my body. I want to be following my heart's nudges towards the joy, and I lost that for a while. So without further ado, I'm so excited. I think this, for anyone who's been on a very similar journey to what I've just expressed, I think you're going to find this conversation really enlightening and light. I think you're going to feel light at the end of it. So enjoy. Rachael Weaver, it's so lovely to have you on Mute Yourself. I'm so excited for this conversation. So you are a human design expert, but with a particular interest in messaging differently. You're really wanting for us to cultivate alignment with our energy. What would you say that means? What does that mean exactly?
Where do I begin? It really means, like, I want you speaking your truth at the heart of it. I want you showing up as yourself, right? There's a lot of people saying you should be authentic online, but most people don't even know what that means. They think that they still have to show up a certain way to sell or to have the successful business. They have to be polished. They have to share their story, or, the whole, what is authentic is so complicated because of what everyone else tells you is authentic, right? It was authentic for them, but that doesn't mean it's authentic for you. And understanding what is your authentic expression, how do you like to talk about your work, and showing up from that place. And that's why I love human design, because it really shows you what are the things that you want to talk about, what feels natural for you. And then pairing that with messaging so you can sell your services online and just be more of yourself in your business.
Oh, I love that. And there's just so many threads to pull on there. So for me, it feels like to be in alignment with my energy, it's to follow the heart nudges, which is all
Mm.
about joy. It's about kind of following the nudges of joy. But if we're
Yeah.
feeling very, very heavy when it comes to kind of building a business, which I think for a lot of us, if we've done all the business creation courses and the copywriting courses and all of the cookie cutter suggestions, oh, it can feel so heavy. So where do we begin in coming back to the joy, coming back to alignment and authenticity? Where do we even begin, Rachel?
Oh, where do we begin? I think we have to understand our human design. This is why, like, one of my first things is get a custom report because it shows you this is what your energy is saying, right? Then it's our job to go, well, how close am I to that? Or how far away am I from that?
Mm.
And where have I been? You could say giving your power away, but it's really just doing the things you're supposed to do or you think you should do based on what someone else is saying. So maybe there's a business coach that's saying you have to show up consistently. If you don't have consistency in your energy, or I mean, there's lots of different ways consistency shows up, but it's not just about consistency. It's the frequency behind the consistency that matters. So if you're showing up consistently, and but it's from a force of I have to, I should, this is what everyone tells me to do, I guess, like there's this heaviness to it. I don't care how much you show up, it's not going to matter. It's
Yeah,
you're going to hustle and burn yourself out, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
getting back to yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Um, Understanding like what is about your design. Is there more like I've seen certain clients that come to me and their chart is all about self-care and really taking time for themselves. So if they're not doing that within their daily life, all of their work, all of their hustling, all of the it's just pushing things further and further away. And the more and more frustrated or bitter they become because of that, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I relate to that so much because first of all, for so many reasons. What the first one that comes to mind is that if I'm forcing posts, if I'm forcing something to say just because I've been told that I need to show up so many times a week to beat the algorithm and all of this, that, and the other, it can you lose heart very, very quickly. And
Yeah.
yet, also, I am also aware that consistency is important. Um, if and also the emotional timing, it feels very, very
Mm.
important behind kind of posting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you're I hope that you're going to explain this, but I'm thinking that is a lot to do whether the throat is defined or undefined in human design. Could you
Yes.
delve into that
Yeah.
in a deeper way?
Yeah. It definitely matters how your throat is configured, right? That's where we're speaking from. It's how we turn our thoughts to words and our words to things. And so understanding the throat is really important. If you're undefined, which means that it's white and not colored in, and the throat is the third one down, it's the square.
Right.
If that is undefined, the shadow side of it is pressure. It is a pressure that you're not heard. You need to shout, you need to get attention, you need to like jump up and down, or no one is going to care, no one is going to see you, no one's going to hear you, right? That's the shadow of that undefined throat. On the flip side of it, the highest expression of it is that you are a channel to the divine, meaning you know exactly what to say and when to say it because you can sense the energy from the other person. And what the undefined areas do in our chart is we are taking the energy in and then amplifying it back out. So we can sense what they're saying. We can see and feel and hear them first. Like the caveat to the undefined throat is really listening first. You're not the one that come out and start shouting. You're the one that comes up and just starts listening, active listening. What are they saying? What can I like kind of read between the lines on even what they're saying, and then reflect back what I'm hearing. And oh my God, when an undefined throat is like in that highest expression, that's when their clients are like, oh my, I've never felt so seen and heard in my life. You
Mm.
get me like no one else. That is the like kiss of the chef on the undefined throat. It's beautiful, right?
Oh, yeah. It feels
And
beautiful, even just listening about it.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I tell everyone that has an undefined throat, I feel like sometimes they will come to me and feel almost like their voice isn't going to be as big and bold as the defined throat, right? That there's something wrong with their voice. And it's not true at all, right? It's perfectly designed. You just have to tap into that higher expression of it and not the pressure to speak.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So the defined then is colored in.
That's me.
Yep. You're the defined people are going to have a channel or channels. You can have one or multiple, but it's connected to another center. So there's a lot of energy going to the throat. It's their Someone with a defined throat, we don't even realize it, to be honest, is that when we speak, people generally listen, right? We don't even think about it too much. We just kind of trust that our voice is there. That's not usually how an undefined throat person feels. They feel like they're kind of in the shadows more, and people, but they try to speak up, right? But no one hears them, right?
Right.
So
Right.
with the defined throat, it's understanding what is that channel or channels to your throat. They all have a different theme to them. And so understanding which one is yours will give you clues into how you like to express yourself. So what is the channel that you have?
Oh, I don't. I can show you my chart. I
Yeah.
don't know. I can share my screen. Oh, let's share my screen and show you my chart.
Yeah.
There we
Okay.
go. Can you see?
Yes. So you actually have three channels. You
Okay.
have the 1156 to a defined ajna. That's the one on the top.
Right.
That is It's storytelling, but it's more parables. So, sharing your experience, but it's also how you think about things because it's that ajna. The ajna, the upside down triangle, is how we think about things, how we conceptualize. You understand how the puzzles go, or the puzzle pieces go together, right?
Right.
And so that channel is really sharing those puzzle pieces, but from a storytelling lens. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And then
Oh,
you have the 2034 to your sacral. So that energy is the sacral is power and passion and like excitement. And I describe this channel as being the one where you tell your kids you're going to Disneyland and they're like, yes, and they like
right.
explode with excitement over something. That's that channel. It just explodes with excitement and can't hold back very well.
Right.
Um,
Sounds about right.
yeah. Like when people meet you, they're like, "Oh my God, you're just like just so exciting and so happy and so right." That's that channel.
Right. Okay.
Um, and then you also have the 5720, and that is to the spleen, so it's more intuitive. It like gets an intuitive hit and it needs to say it. Like you get a hunch on something and it's in the moment. This is not something that can be scripted. It's
Right.
very in the moment of like, ooh, I feel I need to share this right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Which again is right. And that lends perfectly to a question that I wanted to ask about how then, I'll stop sharing my screen, how
Hmm.
do we cultivate that deep inner trust to that
Mm,
kind of intuition? Where do we start? Because I feel like human design is such a wonderful way, it's such a relief, first of all. And then there's that kind of leaning into kind of that kind of knowing. How do we cultivate, how have you cultivated your own sense of self-trust in and intuition?
I love that question. It's for me, it's been a two-part piece to it. One is meditation and getting silent and actually like doing that active listening, right? And not just bulldozing my way, because that's what I always did, was like, I would like, this is what I want and I'm going to make it happen, and like bulldoze my way to it. Instead, I have to get silent first and go within and really asking my heart. Because here's, especially with the defined sacral, I'm a sacral mani-gen. We have this kind of, I think we all have an intuitive knowing within us, but the sacral, I think, just to me, and maybe it's just the way that I'm designed, that it feels really natural, right? When I ask my sacral, like, is this something I want? I can feel yes or no. Or is this for later? Yes or no, right? I can sense into, is this right and correct for me? And then it's just up to me to follow through on it and trust it. That trust comes from listening to the sacral, listening to your authority, following through on your authority, and then seeing what happens. That's where the deep trust comes from, is just lived experience. The more that you do it, the more that you trust it.
Okay, I
And then
love
the
that.
second part, yeah, the second part is looking at your chart and going, okay, what is my conditioning? Where is that showing up in my daily life? I have an undefined head and ajna, the two at the top. And so it's beautiful in its own way, but it's also, I'm always searching for the how. I'm always searching for, like, make it, I want it to make sense before I do the thing. And that's just never going to happen. It's never going
Yeah.
to make sense.
Yeah.
It's just, I have to be comfortable in that unknown, because my brain just, it's never going to make sense. It's not. And
Mm.
understanding that has helped me go, okay, I know it's not going to make sense. I just have to let that go and trust. I know that when I trust my sacral, I know when I trust my intuition, it always works out. I just have to lean into that.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So the following the breadcrumbs of joy, even if it makes
Mhm.
no sense,
Yeah.
is where we can develop that sense of, oh, this is okay. This is going to be okay. Is your sense that that bulldozing you spoke of? I think we've all been there. That kind of fighting to make it work, pushing,
Yeah.
taking massive action. You know,
Yeah.
all of the things that we hear. Is your sense that that's a kind of very masculine energy, and that we need to bring in the softer feminine energy, or is that a very too simplistic a way of putting it? What's your thought on the masculine feminine kind of way of
Yeah.
creating messaging?
I think there is a balance in it, because I have, like, I'm a big proponent of just do it, even if you don't know what the hell you're doing. Just do it.
Mess,
Jump.
me- Messy action over massive action.
Yes, messy action. I honestly, so much of the time, clarity doesn't come until you do the thing, right? But you have to do the thing in order to understand, oh, I liked that. I didn't like that. I liked that aspect. I hated that aspect. I would never have known that if I hadn't done the thing. So there is an element of just doing the thing, even if you don't have any clue, right? However, we get so caught up in that, especially I think with the online space and the idea that there should be overnight success, that if you're not growing and you're not getting a million clients and you're not doing 100K months, there's something wrong with you.
Mm,
And there's not.
mm,
There's nothing wrong with you. You you're just in a totally different place than what that person is, right? And I can get caught up in that. I know my clients get caught up in that, of going, it's not even for me, but yet I still feel like I'm doing something wrong, or I'm not where I'm supposed to be, when you fall into that conditioning trap. So
mm,
doing the thing, but doing the thing from, I'm just doing this because it feels right now. And
mm.
I'll learn and I'll pivot and I'll do what I need to do in the next step. And trusting, that's how you trust the process, right? That's how
Yeah.
you do that step by step, instead of getting caught up in, okay, I'm taking the messy action, I'm launching, I'm doing the thing, but shit, no one signed up. What the hell am I doing wrong? There must be something wrong with me or my offer, blah 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 blah. No, there's nothing wrong with you. You just haven't figured out, like, what actually you want in that scenario.
Yeah. Like a kind of liminal space can be very
Mhm.
messy, can't it, sometimes?
Yeah.
In when we are following the nudges of joy and we're kind of aligning with our energy more and more, and
Hmm.
our design, you say there that you're a manifesting generator, which can be kind of very all, kind of so many things, so many ideas. When we're following those nudges, how do you think our messaging will follow that, and therefore then the what we can receive? Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yes, absolutely. So I know how much my message has changed over the years, but there's one
Okay.
thing that has always been an anchor and the like foundation to it, and that is my unique selling point. The thing, it's like, so mine is messaging and human design. That's it. Like super simple, not overcomplicated. This is what I want to be known for, right? The offers, the structure, like there, oh my God, all of that has changed a million times over the last 4 or 5 years. And that's okay. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because what I'm known for has stayed true. So if the one caveat to this is that if you are super, super new to coaching in the online space, it can sometimes be really hard to know what you want to be known for. Like you just haven't had the experience in the online space to really know what you don't know.
Mm.
You may think they're like, I want to be a life coach. And this is the one I hear all the time. I want to be a life coach. I want to help people live their best life. And you're like, that's not what you're known for. I'm sorry. That's not, it's way too broad and no one understands what it is. You need to figure out, is there a specific person that you want to help or a specific problem that you can help them with? Those are like the two ways to quickly like get some experience under your belt in order to figure out what is your unique selling point, right?
Mm.
Um, that's where I started. Like, if you know what you want to be known for, fantastic. We can work with that. But if you don't, then what is a problem or what is one person that you want to help? And ideally, like one area of their life you want to help them with. Start
Mm.
there and know that you can change your mind, right? It's so many their immediate like reply to me saying pick a problem or pick a person in one area. They're like, but I can help them in all areas of their life, or I can help all the people. Like, sure you could. Do you want to? Is there one that's like really fun to work with or one that you know that this problem and they solve it, like everything else gets easier in their life? What is that one
Mm.
problem, right? And help them solve that problem. Yeah.
And so your custom report helped me massively with that. It really, really did. And my landing page went like a breeze because of your your
Yeah.
custom report. Would you speak to us a little about that, how that can help us clarify our messaging when starting out?
Yeah. So I love the custom report. It's essentially it's taking all the aspects of your human design chart that I think are the most important for your messaging, right? It's not all aspects. There's a lot of aspects. I mean, human design is deep when you really look at it. It's incredibly nuanced. I take the pieces that are as close to the surface as possible that affect your messaging the most. So that's your type, that's your throat center, your other centers as well, and your Mercury gate. Those are like the top pieces. And then I break it down in the report. Here's what this says about messaging. Here's how you want to show up in the highest expression of this. The undefined centers can be areas you can problem solve for people. So like my undefined ajna, it's prone to overthinking, it's prone to wondering about the how and needing the how. I can sell something saying as long as I'm in the highest expression and not like stuck in it myself. But if I'm past that and I'm from that highest expression of I'm good in the unknown, then I can show other people how to do that too, right? So
Mm.
in the report it helps you identify what those areas are for you, and then how to come into alignment or adjust the frequency of your Mercury gate, which is just understanding the, for me, Mercury gate is like the energy behind the message, your mission, right? the thing in your business, why it would propels you forward. And so understanding what that would look like in writing a mission statement in your business.
And is Mercury gate, does that show in the human design?
Yes, it does.
Because that
So you'll,
I'm not familiar with this. Mercury is all about communication, isn't it?
yes, yes,
Ah, okay, right,
yes.
okay.
Yep.
And
And
so it's in the
mhm.
chart. Sorry.
That's okay. No, that's okay. Yeah, Mercury is the planet of communication, so it's going to help you articulate what you want to say, right? And on the each side of the chart, there's the columns with numbers and symbols. You find Mercury, which I always describe as like it looks like a stick figure with horns on it.
Right, right, yeah.
That's Mercury. And you look at that gate on the is the right hand side. That's your conscious side. You can look at the other side as your unconscious side. You can look at that if you want, but the conscious is the one that usually comes through the most loud and clear, and the one that you will resonate more with because it's
Okay.
conscious.
Hmm. And so the unconscious side, I guess, is the shadow side that we're working through, or is that too simplistic, would you say?
Not necessarily the shadow side. It's just stuff that you aren't as aware of, but other people pick up on,
Right.
right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I always tell people if human design is like you find it and you have these few little threads that you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. But where do I go from here? What do I need to learn? How do I need to learn? Like all the questions, right? And it's picking one thing at a time. What are you drawn to within that chart? Maybe it's understanding the planets and how those relate, or maybe it's understanding your circuitry, right? Um, doing one thing at a time and implementing it and learning from it that way, and then doing the next layer. You could
Right.
study human design and implement it your entire life and still not be done. It is that layered and nuanced.
Mm.
So to just that's why the report I keep it as like close to the surface as possible so that you're not overwhelmed, and then giving you the like breakdown of what the energy means for your messaging and phrases to use and things like that. So it takes the complexity out of it.
Yes, it felt anything but overwhelming. It was just a joy because it was kept so for the layman kind of a thing, it was
Yeah.
kept so simple. I loved it. I really loved it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? What else? What else? Is there anything else that you would like to share whilst I check my questions?
Mm. Uh, I would say when you're creating offers, to have a really specific offer in mind. And even if you're working one to one with someone, it's really easy to be broad and general when you're working one to one because each person is very individualized, right? You're meeting on a Zoom room like this, and you can go down a tangent if you need to. It becomes really difficult to do that and translate that to a course or a group program because everything is tied to you and your ability to coach in the moment, right? So even if you're doing a one-to-one type program, have a specific problem that you're solving, a promise that you're giving, and the like pathway to that promise, which is your USP, your unique selling point, essentially. So when you have that, everyone coming into that one-to-one knows what they're doing, right? And then it'll be so much easier to translate it to a course and a group program and get your business out of that one-to-one, which can be very feast or famine, and into more consistent cash flow.
Okay, that's wonderful, wonderful advice. There was one question about urgency versus resonance. How do we feel? How do we know when we're coming from a place of energy, an energy of kind of force, urgency, and how will we know the difference between urgency and really resonating with our
Yeah.
message and what we're creating and
Yeah.
building?
Uh, well, number one, your results are going to show you. And sometimes you have to get the results before you realize that you were in that energy of push. I've been there, and actually recently where I thought I was in alignment, and then turns out I wasn't at all. And it was more of an internal shift that I needed to make. So, number one, looking at your results, are you getting the results that you want? Meaning your business is growing the way you want it to, you have the clients you want, that kind of thing. Then going, okay, my results aren't what I want, right? That's why I'm over here trying to make things happen. Well, that's your issue, right? That's where you're putting shoulds. I mean, should do this because it will get me clients, right? Is that I do this, it should equal that. And
Mm.
that's not how the universe works. Again, this is my unknown. You got to sit in the unknown. Instead, am I doing this because I freaking love to talk about this? Am I doing this because I want, like, I know people need this offer. I know that I can help people. I know that this is my purpose work, right? That energy is very different than, okay, I have to make my business work. Man, I'm like, why aren't the clients coming? No one's responding. I might like, and there's this like frenzied panic coming from scarcity, essentially, right? And in the other, your alignment comes from abundance, comes from you being excited and lit up, and you don't honestly care how people come to you. They just do. You just know they do.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I feel excited even just listening to you talk about that. Oh,
Yeah.
Rachel, you are just so magic. Where can people find you? Where can we direct people to?
I am on Instagram at I am Rachael Weaver, and Rachel is Rachael. Um, my website is weaverco.us, and yeah, and you have the link to the report, so you can grab
Yeah,
that if
send
that's what
people
you
to
want.
that.
And that's
Yeah, we'll pop that
pretty
all
much connected to
to
me.
you. Okay, that's that's fantastic. Bless you. Any final words?
No, thank you. This was so amazing. You are such a, I mean, this was such a great conversation. I loved it.
Thank you. Just so grateful, appreciative. Thank you. Bless you, and farewell.
Thank you.